Please provide the text you would like me to edit. I will then replace the English names with other names. Keep the third-person perspective. Ensure the plot and grammar are retained. Maintain the original word count. Correct any misspellings. And format the output as a single paragraph of text without any extra special characters or content. That I was just an obscure, no-name talent manager. But I turned a Z-list actress Anya into one of the biggest stars in the industry. Who would have thought? Instead of being recognized by people in the industry, they all just assumed I got lucky and stumbled onto her by dumb luck. What shocked me the most? Even Anya thought the same. She forgot the days I drank myself into stomach bleeding just to win roles for her. She forgot all the promises we made on the way up. Now she doesn't reply to my messages, flirts with male actors, and even wants to replace me as her manager. But what no one knows is, I can see that star power floating above an actor's head. Anya's star power has dimmed, a sign that her days at the top are almost over. If that's the case, then there's no point in forcing her to shine any longer. If a client won't listen, I'll just find someone else to make famous. Chapter 1. Toshiro, there's another issue with the lead actor team. I was driving to the hospital when Anya's assistant, Keiko, called me. Lately, my stomach pains had gotten intense, and I was hoping to get it checked today, but I guess that's not happening again. I kept calm and asked, "What's going on? Tell me slowly." Keiko said there was a location issue on set. Anya had waited around for 2 hours and then blew up, refusing to film. The director and producer both tried to talk her down, but it didn't help. The entire crew was stuck waiting. I sighed. I'm on my way. Then I gritted my teeth, turned the steering wheel, and headed over despite the pain. Anya had just been named the most popular actress in the entertainment industry at the start of this month. At 26, she'd officially reached A-list status, but with all the fame, her temper had gotten worse too. When I arrived on set, Keiko looked like she'd just spotted a savior. She led me toward Anya's trailer. Just as we reached it, the door swung open abruptly. A tall, lanky man stepped out. It was Kenji, the male lead of this drama. He looked me up and down, then smirked. "So you're Anya's agent, Toshiro? Pretty unprofessional. Letting your client wait on set for 2 hours without showing up. No wonder she's mad." I frowned but said nothing. After he walked off, I climbed into the trailer. Anya was leaning sideways in her seat, long legs crossed elegantly. Her posture was casual yet graceful. The cool-toned lights outlined the flawless makeup on her profile, making her look even more aloof and regal. She didn't look pleased. Her brows furrowed slightly. "Where were you?" I hadn't even started speaking before she scoffed. "You're such an embarrassment. Do you even know how unprofessional you look?" Keiko tried to step in and explain, but I raised my hand to stop her. "Let's set everything else aside for now, Anya. Could you please get back on set? The entire crew's waiting for you. If word gets out, this won't reflect well on anyone." Anya shifted. "They made me wait 2 hours. I should at least let them wait that long too, don't you think?" I was speechless. Since I couldn't persuade her, I went straight to the director. I had Keiko go buy some anti-inflammatory meds and fever reducers. Then I made a show of bringing them to her trailer in front of the whole crew. I told everyone she wasn't feeling well and would be back on set shortly. Once everything was handled, I clutched my aching stomach and went into the restroom. That's when I overheard voices by the sink, and unfortunately, they were talking about me. One said, "I heard Anya's manager has only ever worked with her." Another replied, "So he's basically got no experience." Someone else, "Total dumb luck. First client he takes on becomes a top star." Please, it wasn't the first time I'd heard this. Anya's career had only gone up over the years. I was the one who brought her into the industry. Some people said I had a sharp eye, but most of them just said I got lucky, that I found a future Alistair by chance on the street. One phrase, dumb luck, erased 4 years of me working multiple jobs just to support her auditions and training, erased the countless times I drank myself sick just to get her roles. I could understand that outsiders didn't know the truth, but what I didn't expect was that even Anya believed it too. Chapter 2. After we wrapped for the day, I started reading Anya's schedule for tomorrow. She was removing her makeup and casually said, "I'm exhausted. I don't feel like working tomorrow. Just find an excuse and tell the crew." I tried to coax her patiently. "We're almost done filming. Skipping now wouldn't look good. Just hang in there a little longer." Anya immediately cut me off. "Can you stop already? Always with the same stuff. This is bad, that is bad. Is that all you know how to say? You're my manager. Isn't it your job to always take my side? Toshiro, have you forgotten who made you what you are today? If it weren't for me, you'd still be some bottom-feeding food delivery guy. It was like a bucket of ice water had been dumped over my head. Even though it was late summer, I felt a chill down to the bone. Her phone buzzed. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the contact name, Kenji. Must be him. Anya replied to a few messages. Her lips curled ever so slightly. Her whole expression brightened. Then she casually tapped open the schedule I had sent her. I froze. In her contacts, she had changed my name. Now it just showed my full name, Toshiro. I suddenly remembered 4 years ago, she had run up to me, phone in hand, beaming with pride. Toshiro, look. Back then, she had just landed her first role, making some small waves online. She'd saved my contact as Anya's Knight. I got flustered and tried to grab her phone to change it, worried someone might see, but she giggled and ran, dodging me as she said, "No way. Toshiro is never someone who needs to be hidden." The same girl who said I never needed to be hidden now quietly changed my contact name without a word. Just like everyone else, she casually brushed off everything I'd done for her. Maybe she noticed me looking because she turned off her screen and said softly, "I just didn't want anyone to see it, so I changed it." I answered flatly, As we neared the crew hotel, Anya suddenly spoke. "Oh right, the company talked to me a few days ago. They're thinking of having Daichi take over as my agent." Daichi was the most senior manager at our agency. He had managed several big-name stars. I said nothing. Anya seemed a little uneasy. "But I didn't agree to it," she added quickly. I just smiled and said, "It's fine. Let's talk after you finish filming this project." Anya was still the same, never good at hiding things. If she really didn't want to switch agents, she wouldn't have brought it up at all. So why say it now? A favor or a threat? I messaged Daichi, trying to sound him out indirectly. To my surprise, he replied, "What? Wasn't it Anya who asked the company to switch agents? The boss just talked to me about it a few days ago." I laughed. So that's what this was. A test. She thought I'd still be like before, willing to bend over backwards for her no matter what. Chapter 3. The next day, Anya still showed up on set. That afternoon scene was in an indoor swimming pool. Right after we moved locations, I went to confirm the shooting schedule with the staff, but when I came back, I saw Anya in the water shouting for help. My mind went completely blank. I didn't even think. I jumped straight into the pool. Anya couldn't swim. I grabbed her and swam toward the edge. "It's okay. I'm here," I told her. But suddenly, there was a burst of cheering from the side. Crew members rushed out from hiding like it was some kind of celebration, and Anya, she was smiling like nothing had happened. Floating in the water, she laughed. "Told you we didn't need a lifeguard. If anything ever went wrong, my manager would jump in faster than anyone else." Kenji stood on the poolside watching me with a grin. "Manager Wong really looks out for Anya," he said. "But I guess you didn't know she already learned how to swim?" "I taught her myself, unknown." I stood in the water, completely dazed. My shirt clung to my body, soaked. My hair was a mess. I looked like a complete clown, and inside, something snapped, like a string pulled too tight, had finally broken. I wiped my face and walked silently to the edge of the pool. Behind me, Anya called out, "You're not mad, are you?" I didn't look back, just kept walking, ignoring the stairs until I reached the break room. Then I called my boss. My voice was calmer than I expected. "Mr. Sato," I said, "go ahead and assign Daichi to Anya. I'm fine with it." He replied quickly, "Glad you've come around. We've got a few promising rookies at the company. Take your time, pick someone you'd like to manage." Through the glass window of the break room, I saw Anya sitting by the pool, wrapped in a towel, chatting with Kenji. She seemed distracted, glancing toward where I'd left, but what I saw was the light above her head. The moment I agreed to the change, her star power visibly dimmed, just a little, but enough to catch my eye. And next to her, Kenji's star power was weak, barely flickering. No one knew I could see an actor's star power. Whether a career would shine or collapse mostly depended on talent and luck, but sometimes even the tiniest decision could set off a butterfly effect. The first time I met Anya, she was live streaming a dance on the street. Only a dozen or so viewers, but above her head, I saw a faint glowing light. So I offered her a different path. I said, "There are beauty filters everywhere in live streams. You're too stunning to waste it here. You should be in front of the big screen, doing real acting." She told me every actor needs a manager, so I became her manager, and I took her from a bottom-rung extra to the top of the industry. I always thought it was her own star power that lit her path, but now I finally understood. Star power can dim, a career can end. How far someone can go also depends on me. I smiled and said, "No need, Mr. Sato. I'm quitting. There are so many talented actors in this world. Only children cling to just one. Me? I want them all." Chapter 4. I grabbed my things and stepped out of the break room. Keiko was standing by the door, as if she'd overheard something. "Toshiro, you're leaving? Does Lee's top star know?" I glanced toward the direction of the swimming pool and shrugged. "She'll be thrilled." With that, I walked away in long strides. My car was parked in the basement garage. Soaked through from head to toe, I was miserable. I peeled off my wet shirt, figuring I'd change in the car. I quickened my pace toward the elevator, praying no one would be there. Ding! The doors opened, and standing inside was a woman. She had almond-shaped eyes, soft rosy lips, a sculpted nose, and porcelain skin that almost glowed. Her look was the perfect blend of innocence and allure. She blinked when she saw me, then quickly turned away, cheeks flushed. I recognized her, Hannah, a guest actress brought in for a cameo in this drama. She was talented and beautiful, but luck hadn't been on her side. She'd signed with an unreliable agency and never managed to break out. I glanced at the top of her head. Her star power was glowing bright, definitely potential. I watched the floor number slowly tick down. Then I heard a heavily accented voice beside me. Well, if it isn't Toshiro. Such a big talent. Why haven't you thought about switching companies already?" I was speechless. Such a beautiful girl, shame about the mouth. I turned my head and asked, "What?" Hannah said, "I've terminated my contract. I'm going solo now. I've got money, I've got connections, just need someone to guide me. You've got skills and an eye for talent. I hope you'll work with me." Something felt off. I asked, "How did you know I quit?" She widened her eyes. "You quit? That's perfect." Her tone lifted, clearly in a good mood. As we exchanged contact info, she added, "Actually, I didn't know. I was just poaching you for fun." Before I could respond, the elevator stopped on the 10th floor. Even before the doors opened, I could hear a crowd chatting outside. Lots of people. I frowned. Looking like this was kind of embarrassing. I reached for my damp shirt, planning to throw it back on, but in the next second, a towel landed on my shoulders. It was still a bit damp, clearly the one Hannah had used after swimming. It smelled faintly of shampoo, light, fresh. Hannah stepped out naturally ahead of me, greeting the production crew as they came in, completely ignoring the dripping mess of a man in the corner. When I got back to my car, I changed into a fresh jacket. As I folded up my shirt, a coin slipped out of the pocket and clinked onto the floor. I didn't call Hannah right away. Instead, I calmly searched her name online. There were the usual results about her acting career, but one lesser-known detail popped up: heiress of the Sue family. No wonder she could afford a huge penalty fee and still go independent. A solid next move, a great stepping stone. And let's be honest, she's gorgeous. I dialed the number she left me. She picked up quickly. I smiled and said, "Miss Sue, how should I return your towel?" Hannah gave a soft laugh. "If you don't want to be my manager, then there's no need to return it. But if you do, I'll send you the address. Let's meet tomorrow at noon. I'll have the contract ready." I twirled the coin between my fingers once before slipping it into my new jacket pocket. I said, "All right, Miss Sue." Chapter 5. After I got home and took a shower, I noticed over a dozen missed calls from Anya. Just as I looked, she called again. I picked up without much thought. Her voice was laced with annoyance. "You were the one who asked to have Daichi replace you as my manager, weren't you?" I almost laughed. Shouldn't I be the one asking her that? She gave a cold snort. "You think managing someone else will be just as easy, Toshiro? Not everyone is me, with my looks and talent." I chuckled. "You've had it too smooth for too long. Honestly, I'm curious what it feels like to struggle for once." Anya snapped. "Don't come crying when you regret it." And with that, she angrily hung up. As for me, I lay back in bed and had the best night's sleep I'd had in 2 months. The next day, I went to the address Hannah sent me. Just like she promised, the contract was ready. Her new agency's name, Star Power. We'd definitely be signing more artists down the line, but for now, the mission was clear: make Hannah blow up. Anya said yesterday that not everyone had her kind of natural advantages, but comparing Hannah to her, Hannah lacked nothing. I would personally make her a star, a bigger star than Anya ever was. After reviewing the recent roles Hannah had been offered, I turned them all down. 2 months later, I handed her a screen test for a new project and told her to start preparing. Hannah hesitated. This new project, Cold Moon, is by director Chun, right? The production quality is solid, but the female lead's personality is so soft and gentle. That's not me at all. I glanced at her features and said, "You look pretty gentle when you're not talking." Hannah gave me a deadpan look. I smirked and patted the script. "Get ready, this show's going to be a hit." It had the right team, the right funding. Plenty of actresses wanted in, so when I saw Anya at the audition site, I wasn't the least bit surprised. With her status, of course she wouldn't audition like everyone else. She had just come out of a meeting with the producer, probably discussing the project directly. The producer spotted me and said casually, "Oh hey, Toshiro. You're here to pick up Miss Lee? Good timing." Anya frowned and rolled her eyes at me, clearly hoping to catch a flicker of regret on my face. I stayed calm and smiled. "Miss Lee has a new manager now. I'm here with a different actress. We've actually been eyeing director Chin's work for a while. The moment we saw this script, we knew we had to go for it." Hannah heard how I framed it and gave the producer a soft, elegant smile as she greeted him. While I chatted with the producer, Hannah glanced at Anya from head to toe, then back at me. Her expression basically screamed, "That's who you were working with?" Anya's face darkened immediately. She didn't even try to hide it. She turned around and left with her assistant. Not long after, Anya messaged, "I've accepted the lead role. Looks like your actress came here for nothing." She wasn't wrong. With her fame, popularity, and perfect fit for the role, it made sense for the production to cast her. Hannah didn't get it. "So why do you still have me audition?" I looked at the message from the producer that had just come through and finally relaxed. "I never wanted you for the female lead," I told her. "I read the script. There's a secondary female role, a vicious, calculating consort. She's got plenty of screen time, and it really tests acting range. You're perfect for it." During the audition, the director even had you read an extra scene from that role. I think he was thinking the same thing. And just now, the producer texted me, "The role is yours." Hannah's unique blend of innocence and allure was rare in this industry. All she needed was the right breakout moment. As for Anya's role, she'd played that type of character before. There was nothing challenging about it. But Hannah's role, she was going to steal the show. Feel it. Hannah was going to crush her. Chapter 6. Sure enough, not long after filming began, I stopped by the set, and the director couldn't stop praising Hannah. "This role fits her like a glove," he said. Not a single word about Anya, because she'd had another outburst on set. Apparently, her fan club had organized a visit that morning, but after Hannah's intense slap scene, several fans walked away and never came back. That was already bad enough. But to make it worse, her new manager Daichi had the nerve to compliment Hannah too, saying she had a bright future ahead. Anya exploded. Once her fans left, she started throwing cups and refused to continue filming. Daichi, a seasoned veteran, was known for coddling his clients. He didn't react at all, just told the crew to wait. Hannah crossed her arms and came to stand beside me. She followed my gaze and asked, "You managed her for 5 years, and that's how she acts?" I pointed toward a group of extras resting on the steps behind Anya. "See the one on the far left? Pretty decent look. I've been watching her for a while, thinking of signing her." Hannah stared at me, speechless. "So what, you're scouting now?" I shrugged. Big-budget crews like this usually attract solid background actors, and a lot of them don't have agencies yet. I just walked around and handed out 3 business cards. Hannah burst out laughing. "You know," she said, "you really make people feel safe." I froze for a second, because Anya once said the exact same thing. During her first shoot, she'd been a bundle of nerves. Her audition had gone great, but in front of the camera, she kept messing up. The director had a short temper. He snapped, saying if she couldn't act, she should get lost. But the moment she saw me arrive on set, she calmed down and finally found her rhythm. We didn't even have a car back then. That night, walking back to the hotel, she tugged on my sleeve and said, "Can you be somewhere I can always see you when I'm filming? I only feel safe when you're around." Funny, isn't it? That same girl who used to panic on camera now storms around set like a diva. She was the first artist I ever managed, a flower I nurtured from a seedling. I shielded her from every storm. To say there were no feelings would be a lie. But the day she tricked me into jumping into that pool, whatever I once felt for her vanished. What I love is the process of making stars. It doesn't matter who the star is. The few extras I had my eye on contacted me soon after. Their star power levels varied, but all of them showed potential. I helped each one find their direction and started submitting them for roles. More artists joined. The entertainment agency started looking more and more legit. On Hannah's final day of filming, I showed up and bought coffee for the entire crew. Everyone was waiting for the final scene to wrap so they could take photos and give flowers, but then something unexpected happened. Hannah and Anya had a final confrontation scene. Right after the director called cut, the two of them somehow collided and fell off the edge of the raised platform together. Screams rang out. Some of the women on set were visibly shaken. Crew members rushed over shouting, "Call an ambulance!" I ran through the crowd and pushed my way in. Anya was lying on the ground, clutching her leg. The moment she saw me, her eyes lit up and she instinctively reached out her hand. But I walked right past her, kneeling beside Hannah. "You okay?" I asked. Hannah draped an arm over my shoulder, took a deep breath, and said, "Luckily, there was a foam pad underneath. Pretty sure it's just a twisted ankle." I let out a breath of relief. Only then did I remember Anya had fallen too. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her surrounded by Keiko and the others. She hadn't moved. Her eyes were fixed on me, her face pale as snow. Chapter 7. At the hospital, after the doctor finished treating Hannah's injury, I went to pick up her medication. While walking through the hallway, I suddenly heard Anya's voice screaming from a nearby room. "Everyone, get out now." Keiko came out of the room, her eyes red. The moment she saw me, she looked aggrieved and said, "Toshiro, what happened?" I asked. Keiko sighed. "Anya's been in a terrible mood ever since she got hurt. She saw you peeling an apple for Hannah in a wheelchair earlier, and she completely lost it. Went back inside and kicked out even the doctors and nurses." I glanced around. "Where's Daichi?" Keiko pouted. "Daichi doesn't really manage Miss Lee much. Not like you, Toshiro. You used to handle everything from work to her personal needs. Daichi had a wife and kid and bigger clients than Anya. Of course, she wasn't his top priority." After chatting with Keiko for a bit, I headed back with the meds. That's when I remembered to ask Hannah, "How did you two fall off the platform?" Hannah let out a small scoff. "You showed up with coffee, right? She saw you up there. God knows what got into her. She went completely off script and tried to hit me with a bottle. You think I was just going to stand there and take it?" One thing led to another, and, well, here we are. But she definitely got it worse. That much was true. Hannah only had a sprain, Anya had a fracture. Both of them were far from nobodies, so the injury made headlines fast. Social media was flooded with Anya's fans crying their hearts out. How could she get hurt like this? There has to be more to it. Who even is this Hannah? Some irrelevant blister. She probably did it out of jealousy. We need answers from the production team. Woohyun, my poor baby Anya. The studio simply issued a statement, an on-set accident. Then cleverly used the hype to promote the show, releasing a clip of Anya and Hannah's intense palace drama scene to stir up buzz. Once Hannah recovered, I took her to meet one of the country's top directors. She'd been prepping a Republic-era film called Clouds of Smoke for 3 years and had publicly said she'd never shoot it unless the right lead came along. After getting the character brief from an inside contact, my first thought was it fit Hannah to a T. So we went, just to get her face known. After the dinner, Hannah told the driver to head straight to the hospital. I blinked. "Why the hospital?" Hannah pouted. "You kept holding your stomach during dinner. This isn't new, is it? Please, I'm begging you, go get it checked. If you drink yourself to death, whose fault will it be?" I joked, "Would this count as a workplace injury?" Hannah rolled her eyes. "The company will cover it." We were quiet for a bit. Then I asked casually, "So you're a rich girl from a powerful family. Why do you want to enter the entertainment industry?" Hannah replied, "My mom used to tell me I was born to act, said I was so dramatic I could flip moods faster than flipping a page, told me I'd win an Oscar one day. So I made it my mission to be an actress and use my natural gifts." "What about you? Why'd you become a manager?" I hesitated, then said, "Artists to me are like handcrafted pieces of art. Watching their star power shine, seeing them loved by more and more people, it gives me a sense of achievement nothing else can." But what I didn't say out loud was that my only mistake was getting emotionally attached to the art. And when the artwork starts to crack, It hurts more than you expect. Just as we were talking, my phone buzzed. For the first time in 3 months, Anya messaged me. Just one today is my birthday. I blocked her earlier. That day she'd posted a vacation photo from Hainan. Through the glass reflection, I caught the faint outline of Kenji. The occupational hazard of being a manager. You zoom in on every little detail. Flawed products should be taken off the shelf, otherwise they only disrupt the market. Chapter 8. Cold Moon premiered and exploded in popularity overnight. On the very first day of broadcast, it shot to the top of the trending drama charts, and within a week, the show sparked a nationwide binge-watching craze. Cold Moon became a cultural phenomenon, the most sensational hit drama in the past 2 years. Just as I expected, Hannah's character turned out to be even more likable than the female lead. Bold in love and hate, with a distinct personality, she stood out far more than Anya's gentle and reserved empress. I kept a close eye on the online chatter, and starting from the second week, search traffic for Hannah surpassed Anya's and kept rising. Hannah's fan base skyrocketed to 20 million. Every day, fans flooded social media with posts like, "Only Hannah's gorgeous pics can keep me alive while waiting for new episodes of Cold Moon. OMG, how did I just now discover this hidden gem of a queen?" No hate to Anya's fans, but honestly, when they're in the same scene, Hannah's acting just totally slays. Of course, some fans fired back. Can you all stop praising one while dragging the other? Who even thinks Hannah is on the same level as Anya? Watching this made me genuinely happy. Fan wars are a clear sign that Hannah has really blown up. At the same time, endorsement offers started pouring in. I held them off for now. Wasn't the right moment to discuss them yet. Then, amid all the drama hype, an old interview suddenly resurfaced and went viral. It was an interview with Director Chun. In the video, the reporter asked him what he thought of the cast. Director Chun couldn't stop praising Hannah, said she was the hardest working young actress he'd ever met. Then the reporter brought up Anya. Suddenly, Chun went silent, like a statue. He scratched his head, pinched at his face awkwardly. The reporter pressed, "What's wrong? Is it hard to comment?" Director Chun let out a couple of dry laughs and said, "It's hard to say. I wish her the best, I guess." A short 2-minute interview was turned into a series of viral GIFs. Networks started speculating, what exactly did Anya do to make Director Chun speechless like that? After all, she'd always had a good public image, cultured, intellectual, poised. But within a day, the Anya acts like a diva on set hashtag shot to #1 on the trending list. Some users dug up claims that Anya not only threw things on the Cold Moon set, but also treated the crew like trash. Debate exploded online. Anya's fans were furious, going into full-blown flame war mode. Oh please, Anya's just too famous, and some jealous haters couldn't stand it anymore. What if Hannah's team is behind this smear campaign? Disgusting, but others clapped back. LMAO, Hannah's team can buy haters, sure, but can they also control Director Chun's expression? That man was clearly done with Anya. Wake up, Daehoon stans preach. I'm just a casual viewer, but I've always found Anya super fake, to be honest. The internet was a total mess, and shockingly, Anya's team hadn't started damage control. Back when I managed her, I monitored online trends 24/7, always prepared for emergencies. Oh, my bad. They did start damage control 3 days after the Diva scandal hit trending. They paid for press releases about Anya being hospitalized on the day she and Hannah wrapped filming. The stories were vague but hinted that Anya was the victim, allegedly sent to the hospital by Hannah. Chapter 9. When I saw those planted news articles, Hannah and I exchanged a look, and I could see the same word in her eyes that was in mine, helpless. Daichi was overseas, walking the red carpet with an award-winning actress, so he wasn't around. I have no idea who came up with this PR move, but it was seriously dumb. The PR team came to ask whether we should release a statement. I waved them off. No need. If we respond, we'll just look stupid too. And I was right. Less than 30 minutes after the articles went live, someone quickly wrote, "I was the night shift nurse on duty. Ask me anything. I swear I'm telling the truth." Instantly, people flooded the forum. Was Anya really more seriously injured than Hannah that night? Yes, the nurse replied. Anya's fans jumped on that. See? Told you Hannah hit her. But the nurse shut that down. Nope, both clearly had fall-related injuries. Someone else asked, was Anya really acting like a diva, and throwing tantrums? The nurse. I heard her yelling at people just walking by. Hannah, on the other hand, politely thanked me when I helped her close the door. That last reply didn't stay up long, probably got deleted after Anya's team reached out, but it was too late. Screenshots had already spread everywhere. Public opinion online flipped in a heartbeat. Even if that nurse hadn't spoken up, someone else would have. After all, the ER that night had also received a car crash victim from nearby, and the place was packed. With that many witnesses, trying to fabricate a story was just underestimating the power of gossip-hungry Edris. Soon, other crew members started sharing their own stories of Anya's diva behavior. Eventually, Anya's side stopped responding altogether. I figured they planned to lay low for a while and wait for the storm to pass. At the Cold Moon wrap party, I spotted Anya from afar. Her star power above her head was visibly fading. Honestly, the moment I left her team, her downfall was set in motion. Back then, I kept her in check, told her what she could and couldn't do or say. I had a clear plan, and I made sure she followed it. I would step in immediately to fix things whenever something went wrong, keeping damage to a minimum. I opened doors for her, handed her the best resources because I put her first. No one else would have done that for her. She was the one who grew tired of me first, so really, what else could I do? The entertainment industry is small. Before hiring actors, production teams always ask around about acting chops, professionalism, reputation. Now that she left such a bad impression on director Chun, she'll only find herself more and more shut out. There are too many up-and-coming talents. Who knows when the next rising star will appear? Hannah is the perfect example. She noticed me watching her and leaned in quietly. Don't worry, I'm nothing like her. I gave her a side glance. She smiled. I actually like it when you keep me in check. I took a sip of my drink, chuckled, and said, doesn't matter to me. If you stop listening, I can always replace you. My phone buzzed with a new message. I looked at it and couldn't help laughing. Looks like I won't be replacing you anytime soon. Hannah blinked in confusion. I sighed and said with heartfelt sincerity, you really hit the jackpot when you met me. News just broke. Hannah was cast in the mega project Cloud Smoke. The internet exploded. The topic stayed trending for a full week. Excitement, skepticism, new fans, it was all there. But there was no denying it. After this film, Hannah would undergo a complete transformation. She'd be on a whole new level. And me? The industry had officially started calling me a gold standard agent. Chapter 10. Hannah had started filming her movie, and since she had an assistant with her, I didn't go along. Some of the junior actors under my wing were doing well too. One of them had just landed her first lead role. I went to the set to accompany her to the opening ceremony. After the event, she choked up and said to me, Toshiro, meeting you is honestly the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me. I froze for a second, then shook my head. Someone else said that to me once too. She looked confused. And then what happened? I gave a bitter smile. Then she got unlucky. I bought everyone on set a round of late-night snacks. The whole crew cheered in unison. Thanks for the midnight snacks, May. May, experiencing this kind of appreciation for the first time, looked both flustered and thrilled. It's easy for a celebrity to get loved by fans. What's hard is earning the genuine affection of the people you work with day in and day out. Like costumers, makeup artists, set assistants, the ones not in the spotlight. But that's exactly how a good reputation is built. As an agent, all I can do is help them take the first step. The rest, they have to walk it themselves. Before you learn the craft, you learn integrity. Before you act well, you act right. Anya was the first person I ever tried to teach that to, but she never listened. As I was about to leave, I overheard the crew chatting over snacks. Funny enough, it was about me again. Only this time the tone was completely different. Someone said, so Anya, Hannah, and our current lead actress were all discovered and managed by Toshiro? I seriously respect that guy. His eye for talent is unmatched, and he's incredible at what he does. Honestly, Toshiro could probably make a stray dog into a superstar. Another person said, ever since Anya switched agents, she's been going downhill fast. I couldn't help but smile faintly as I walked toward the parking lot. In the elevator on the way home, I was habitually scrolling through trending topics. Amid the multiple hashtags about Hannah, one headline about Anya caught my eye. Anya wardrobe malfunction during provocative dance. I tapped it. It was a video. In it, She sat curled up in the corner of a nightclub sofa, crying. Her makeup was completely ruined, eyeliner smeared across half her face. Probably drunk, she'd suddenly started live streaming. She was crying and dancing at the same time, her dress straps slipping down again and again. Several parts of the video were edited for modesty. Clearly, she wasn't doing well. Her resources had tanked. Fans were jumping ship. A few days ago, someone even leaked photos of her and Kenji vacationing in Hainan back then. Tons of her strong female lead stands unfollowed and turned against her. These days, the gigs she could get were nowhere near the level of Hannah's. If this had happened back when I was still her agent, I would have been freaking out. Now, I was just another onlooker, enjoying the drama. The elevator doors opened. I stepped out, about to head home, and froze. The woman on my phone screen was now sitting right in front of my apartment door. Anya looked up at me, eyes glassy with tears, voice hoarse as she said, "Can we talk?" Chapter 11. I stood at the doorway without moving. "I'd rather talk right here," I said. Anya wiped the corners of her eyes, then slowly got up and leaned against the wall. Looking at me, she said softly, "You must be really disappointed in me. Ever since you left, I've fallen from the clouds straight into the abyss in just a few short months." She had changed drastically. Her complexion was pale and bloodless, dark circles under her eyes, so heavy it looked like she hadn't slept in ages. I pushed down my shock and said truthfully, "I knew you'd run into trouble. I just didn't expect it to be this fast." She sniffled, then asked, "Do you know why I've gotten more and more irritable over the years?" I didn't answer. What a stupid question. I didn't want to humor it, but Anya went on talking like I hadn't said anything. "Because this industry is brutal. I had no connections, no powerful background. I only had you, and together we clawed our way up one step at a time. When I won Best Newcomer, I really thought we made it. But no, relatives of investors, privileged newcomers, they could suck at acting and still get all the spotlight. I had to praise them, give up scenes for them, butter them up, so I put on a proud, untouchable face just to maintain some dignity. And over time, the mask just stuck. Her fists clenched and unclenched. Her voice cracked. I never thought I'd end up drifting apart from you two." I stood there listening quietly. She must have come here on impulse. No makeup, messy hair. But in that moment, I saw a glimpse of who she used to be. Honest, unguarded Anya from the beginning. But that version of her had been gone for a long time. I replied, "The way you treated me wasn't just some bad habit. You didn't believe I could get you better resources or elevate your status. Anya, lie to yourself all you want, but don't bother lying to me." Like I'd struck a nerve, Anya suddenly snapped. "That's not true," she yelled. I scoffed. "Then why'd you ask to switch agents?" She froze. "I didn't ask for that, Toshiro. This has all been a misunderstanding, right? We can talk this out, fix it, go back to how things were." She reached for me, but I brushed her hand away. Maybe she wasn't lying. Maybe she didn't directly ask for it, but the boss wouldn't make it up either. She probably dropped hints in some casual conversation, voiced even a flicker of dissatisfaction. That alone would have been enough to plant the idea. Not that it matters anymore. The moment she treated me like someone she could summon or dismiss at will, the moment I ignored my own health and ran to help her only to get played in return, that's when I stopped expecting anything from her. "Let's just go our separate ways, Anya." I walked past her. Suddenly, she grabbed my arm, like clinging to her last lifeline. After a long silence, she said, "You're really all I have left." The former top-tier celebrity, now pitifully begging me to stay. She poured all her years of polished acting skills into this performance, just for me. Hey, Anya's star power may have dimmed, but it was still faintly glowing. I pried her fingers off one by one and exposed her without mercy. "You still have a lot. Your fame, your contacts. If you just lay low for a while, you'll survive in this business. But that's not what you want. You want me to help you climb back to the top. That's why you're saying all this." I looked her dead in the eye. "You're pathetic." With that, I turned and slammed the door shut behind me. At some point, it had started raining, light and steady. After a shower, I glanced out the window. Anya was still sitting on the bench downstairs, getting soaked in the rain. She stayed there for a long, long time, long enough for the streetlights to switch off. Only then did she finally get up and walk slowly away. What was she thinking about? Resentment? Regret? Nostalgia? Not my concern anymore. All I knew was, Tomorrow would become no wind, no rain, a good day. Chapter 12. The day Hannah wrapped filming, I went to the airport to pick her up. On the way, I suddenly got a call from Keiko. She sounded panicked and tearful. "Toshiro, something happened to Lee." I pulled over before asking, "What happened?" She choked out, "Lately she's been in a bad place, going out drinking with Kenji all the time. Wouldn't even let me tag along. Every time, she'd come back completely wasted. Then she started secretly transferring money out of her accounts. Yesterday in the middle of the night, the police called me. Lee was arrested for drug use." "How did this happen? Why would she do that?" I gripped the steering wheel tightly, a storm of emotion welling up inside me. Then something clicked. I checked my missed calls. Sure enough, there was an unknown number from around midnight last night. It could have been Anya, or maybe the police, trying the first emergency contact on record. My mind flashed back to her sitting in the rain that night. No wonder she looked so drained, like she had lost all hope. Did she already know back then? Did she realize she'd gone too far down a path with no return? My phone rang again. This time it was Hannah. Apparently, the news about Anya and Kenji's drug scandal had just broken. Weibo had crashed from the traffic. When the call connected, she was silent for a while before saying, "Don't blame yourself. You don't owe her anything." I didn't respond. Hannah took my silence as agreement and went on. "Forget what people are saying. Even if you'd never brought her into the industry, she'd still have faced the same temptations." I cut her off. "Hannah, you're overthinking it. I'm not the type to guilt-trip myself. What's happened to Anya has nothing to do with me. I've never punished myself for other people's mistakes, and I won't let anyone try to guilt me into it either." There was a pause on the other end. Then Hannah asked quietly, "How much longer till you're here?" "I've been waiting half an hour." I stared at the GPS. Still 30 minutes away. Without blinking, I said, 3 minutes. Chapter 13. Cloud Smoke earned Hannah the country's highest newcomer award in the film industry. The day she accepted the award, I was already on the road to Yunnan. 2 days later, I finally watched the replay. By Arai Lake, Hannah lit up the screen. Just the slight curve of her lips had the whole audience cheering. Holding the trophy, she said, "The person I want to thank most for this award is my agent, Toshiro. He's been my strongest support, always full of surprises, and somehow always makes me feel safe at the most critical moments. He's truly a gold standard agent." The host asked her what kind of person she saw herself as. Hannah thought for a moment, then flashed a playful smile. She looked into the camera, no, through the camera, at me, and said, "I'm the most perfect masterpiece someone ever created." I couldn't help but laugh. Then she added, "And there's one more thing I'd like to." Hannah took a deep breath, shook the trophy slightly, and said slowly and clearly, "I'm retiring." Gasps echoed across the venue. Hannah said, "I felt what it's like to stand on this stage. Life is short, and I want to explore a different kind of life." She paused, then smiled again. "The main reason is, someone once said he'd never fall in love with a masterpiece, so I decided I don't want to be one anymore." If I had to describe that moment in one word, reckless. I hadn't even congratulated her yet, so I took out my phone and snapped a photo of Arai Lake to send her. But before I could even finish typing, I heard a familiar voice behind me. "I think I'd be happier if you congratulated me in person." I turned around. Hannah, wearing sunglasses, was walking toward me. She let out a breath of relief. I made it just in time. I looked her up and down. "What are you doing here?" She said, "You never gave me an answer." I asked, "Answer to what?" She huffed. "Didn't you once say that interest-based relationships are stronger than love? So tell me, do you want to keep building one with me or not?" I looked puzzled. "Didn't you get my resignation letter?" Hannah pursed her lips. "I did. That's why I'm asking. Does your future company have any job openings? I'm bringing all the artists with me." I was speechless. I ignored her and kept walking along the lake. Hannah jogged after me, chattering nonstop. "Just think about it, okay? Once our partnership is strong enough, maybe we can move on to something more fragile, like love." I rubbed my temples. "We'll see." She asked, "What would make you consider it?" I looked out at the sunset shimmering on the deep blue lake, like stars scattered across water. I smiled without realizing it. When all the stars I've chosen are shining on their own stages, when their paths are clear and bright, I'll think about it.